How's that letter coming?
No letter, just mail the checks.
Colby and Ryan were checking, for a letter from our buddy.
Did you guys not get the letters?
Huh.
Because I did send
Did
a
you have
bunch
the right? Did you put the +4 in the zip code? Because sometimes if you don't put the +4
I didn't
on
put the
the
+4.
it ends up
what we were thinking.
like
We
it could
usually
go to
think
Livingston.
Jimmy's out on the road and he has this opportunity to communicate with Mia, to write back and kind of reach back out after her ultimatum. Because she effectively said, if you leave, we're done. He sits down to write it and draws a blank, basically. Because reaching out is almost like inviting a response.
And it's selfish. You're doing it for yourself.
Because she made her wishes clear. So I think for Jimmy to kind of keep that can of worms open, I think would have been a disservice to her, but also a disservice to him. Because when you send that letter, you're waiting for the response.
Right.
Every day you're checking the mailbox.
Since you had a hard time sending out the love letter, what do you think that Jimmy might write to the rest of the bunkhouse? If he was to reminisce, put some pen to paper, say, hey fellas, it's Jimmy here, and I was thinking.
Dear bunkhouse, it's true what they say about the open road. Sure is open. Except for Travis, actually. He's a closed book. We haven't done a lot of bonding on the trip, or at least less than I expected. I did learn that he loves the movie Roadhouse and wishes mullets would come back into style. His car seats are snakeskin, which is actually more comfortable on my back than you'd think. It must be pretty good to be a snake in terms of comfort. I'll write more when I get to Texas. Hey, please don't show this letter to Mia. Jimmy.
You want me to drive?
I drive.
When you're in the truck with Taylor, acting, does he talk to you like Taylor or does he talk to you like Travis?
The lines are really blurry.
I'm fascinated with this.
The Taylor-Jefferson relationship is not so different from the Travis-Jimmy relationship in that I know my place and it is to speak when spoken to.
Because sometimes there's not that many people around, right, in the truck. Like when we're on set and there's like 200 people in cowboy, it's kind of like a show.
That's funny. When it was just me and Taylor alone in the truck, he told me that I was his favorite.
Now you're just projecting lies.
Yeah, that's true. If you think the opposite, you'd be like, hey, buddy, now that no one's around, I can tell you, I'm not a big fan, pal.
Wait, you're saying that Roadhouse is the best movie ever
made? Ever.
Travis is like a hilarious character, and the fact that Taylor wrote Travis for himself, I think, is also so funny. Like it's such a it's such a funny kind of joke within a joke for him to write that stuff for himself.
Man, I wish them all to come back in style, don't you?
Up until like 2 weeks ago, I had 10 months worth of hair, and there were times where I would kind of pull it back on top and make it look short on the sides, and then I would rock them all in.
Speaking of hair, next truck stop we find, you need to shave all this shit off. You look homeless.
I had a mullet when I was a kid. My mom, I looked back at family photos of us when we were young, and my mom had awesome hair, and I had terrible hair. And that seems deeply unfair because she clearly knew what good hair looked like. You know what I mean? Because she knew.
Do you think that that's one of the reasons why you project so much now?
No.
We set up a fund. That fund buys land, puts the land in a conservation easement.
I want you to hold off on the conservation easements.
Well, that income offsets our tax liability.
Now, we're looking for $400 million in land and a tax subsidy of $500 million over 10 years.
50,000 acres for $10,000 an acre. That's $500 million.
How much money do you think this ranch makes in a year?
Schwarzenmeyer is a minority investor with no controlling interest.
Smart. The entire system of finance that is working to get the land from John. Can you break it down for me? What in the hell is actually going on?
Whoa!
I'm glad you asked. All right, let's just break this down so everyone can understand it.
Far away.
Beth built a land trust around the Yellowstone.
I think you're putting this all in the trust so you can control the money.
What's a land trust?
Okay, so imagine an account for land and all of the equity that's around the land goes into this place that no one else can touch. Think of this box as the Dutton Ranch, okay? And this is now the land, okay, trust.
Got it.
We're with me. Okay, great. Beth is the controlling interest, meaning she owns the majority of it, the big B, as I like to call it, with Schwartz and Myers as the minority owners. okay? Big business protection. So let's imagine the Schwartz and Meyer, small. We have on this side, can we see, are we keeping up?
Yeah, feel great.
ME.
Market equities.
So the first thing in business economics is to understand that stubbornness is not good in business.
Jamie leased us what he could have sold and made the ranch 100 times more than the lease fee.
This is Jamie, and this is market equity. He leased market equities the land that they need, okay, instead of selling it. Caroline then offers the big B a job.
Come and work for us.
So now Beth has an opportunity where she can leave and come over here.
I've taken all your father's ranch I need for the moment. You want to save the rest of it? Find me something better.
So Beth can now come in and find something bigger, like a giant, something like a BE, which would be the big enchilada. Beth now wants to come in from here and go down here and try to find the big enchilada. She also wants Beth to build her something in Aspen, a destination town in every valley, but she needs an insider. So imagine that we have the triangle. Think of this as Aspen. Okay, so now she wants BE, not the big B, but the BE to go over here and to build another B. We're gonna call this Bethonomics, but it's the power of the 3 Bs.
This is a name your price offer, Bess.
So then in return, Beth wants Caroline's piece of Schwartz and Meyer. If Beth then finds the big enchilada, comes over here and builds, in return for that, she then gets to take all of this and become the sole owner of the trust. Let's just break it all down. We have the big B, Beth, person on the land trust, owns the minority. But you have Jamie, who leased from ME, back over here to the land trust, but instead of doing that, we have Caroline that then was have Beth come over to ME, say, look, you're on the inside, go find me the big enchilada, go build us something over here, and if you build me what I asked for, I will then wipe out Schwartz amount, and you will be the majority owner of the land trust for the Yellowstone Ranch.
Why didn't they just say that?
Makes perfect sense.
And that, ladies and gentlemen,
Well done, Professor.
is Bethonomics.
Dinner's almost ready.
You're wasting your time, Teeter. No one's gonna eat a thing that you cook.
I heard that Teeter cooked. What did she make?
She cooks this big old crock pot full of something. We all come in and we're starving and we dish out all these bowls. She calls it something.
SUMBITCH.
And the joke is, it's everything.
You mean everything in the cow?
Evidently. I'm not down with like eating cow ear, oxtail, or tongue. I get it, but I don't want it.
Yeah, I just am not interested in eating all the facets of a cow.
If it was Colby's night to cook, what's he cooking?
If it was a stew, honestly, I probably would have done a lamb stew.
I'm down with that.
You do a lamb
I
stew
can
with
get
a
down
little bit
lamb.
of a curry, and then you marinate it with red wine first, and then you add that in, and then you make your own bread.
Order up.
Slow bite.
You wanna dance, old man?
I read that in the script and I couldn't believe it. Like since season 1, the one rule, no fighting.
Right.
And when it was
And
like
who-
Lloyd for
and who
Lloyd,
does it?
yeah, the tension between those two guys has been brimming.
Sure don't know how much more my pride can take of that little son of a bitch.
Yeah.
So it finally sort of explodes.
Well, yeah, it just took a
in
woman
that
to
moment.
kind of like add that extra gasoline.
Well, yeah, and for Laramie, like all Laramie's doing is going after what she wants, and that's Walker. But Walker is twisting
But
the knife.
she knew the repercussions. Like, you're in a bunkhouse. It's one bunk over.
She's just like, if she's not malevolent, she's just like, well.
We're not saying it, but I
tough
think that's probably one of the things that sucks. She's like, she almost feels nothing.
Walker could have been a little bit more gracious
Walker-
winner.
Yeah.
So he does deserve a lot.
A little
Yes.
bit of that. You
He
know,
like really, he was poking the bowl.
I feel like Rip showing up and only beating up Lloyd. I feel like Lloyd, when Rip is gone, is supposed to kind of be the anchor of the bunkhouse.
It's the rule about fighting, Lloyd.
And it's like Walker's already been the wild card, has already shown that he doesn't really listen. He's not really even supposed to be there. If we all see that Lloyd can do that without any repercussions, then what's gonna keep anybody else from just doing whatever they want? Lloyd just kind of had to be made an example of.
Yeah, Rip has the most loyalty to Lloyd, but that also means that Lloyd has the most responsibility, and the consequences of betraying that loyalty are that much higher.
There's no fighting on this ranch. You wanna fight somebody, you come fight me.
I want to get you a girlfriend.
Most of the people in John's life are like John. They're sort of strong, silent types. It's hard when the closest thing to a friend you have is your daughter.
This whole man-to-man shit thing we got going.
I'm on it.
Bet.
I got it.
Wait, I think everybody needs that kind of conflict person that will tell you what's going on, that doesn't care about
They
what
tell
you
you
think
that, yeah, they're not gonna spare your feelings.
at all. And it feels so spot on to me when she says that line to him.
You need some pussy.
And he's just like, there's a line.
Yeah.
But you can tell that he needs someone to talk to him for real.
He's at the top of this hierarchy, and it's lonely up there. There's
Sure
like no one
is.
he can really trust except his family, and the whole show is about his relationship to his family being
Right.
fractured and complicated, and it's an
Who
incredibly
is his
difficult
best
thing.
friend? Who would he sit down and say, man, I have a problem?
Like he does it to the fireplace.
Seem to be doing a lot of that lately.
When you sits in that chair in the living room and he just turns on the fire and, maybe imagine what it would have been like if my wife was still here.
It's lonely up there.